The recording.
Okay, then, so my comment that Stephanie is doing a great job, she won't hear that now, or?
Or she will.
Now she'll hear.
Oh,
I will
she might.
second that.
Third.
Fourth.
Thank you, Stephanie.
We love you.
Okay. The Board of Public Works meeting in the Common Council Chambers is hereby called to order on Tuesday, March 22nd, March 22nd, 2022 at 6:30, 1 p.m. Roll call, please.
Alderperson Akers,
Present.
Alderperson Bailey,
Present.
Alderperson Collins,
Present.
Mr. Rivera is excused, Mr. Graber,
Present.
Katz, Laskowski, and Haas are also here.
Yes. I need a motion for approval of the February 22nd, 2022 meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
I will second.
Your second by Collins. Any corrections, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Any citizen commentary? Not today. Item number 5, decision and discussion to sign an agreement with Milwaukee County in the amount of $177,582.71 for the city's share of the cost to improve Beloit Road from South 124th Street to South Wilmer Road. Mr. Katz.
Okay, so this summer, Milwaukee County is reconstructing Beloit Road from South 124th Street to South Wilmer Road. And the city is responsible for its share of the cost, which includes sidewalk, multi-use path. They're going to extend a little bit of bike path in that area, street lights, and adjusting some city manholes. And there's funds available in the capital budget to pay our share of that.
The sidewalk's going to be just on the south side?
So the sidewalk is going to be to connect from, there's going to be a sidewalk or bike path, depending, or wide walking path, connecting from 112th all the way down to Highway 100.
And just on the south side?
Just on the south side, yeah.
And farther east, there won't be a sidewalk?
Farther east, no, they're not. They're just doing a little resurfacing farther east.
Okay.
They're not doing any. They're waiting to reconstruct that piece from Highway 100 to the freeway. They're waiting to reconstruct that in the future.
Are they putting sidewalk outside of our area to the west of us or not?
They're putting it between 112th Street and Highway 100.
Okay, and they're not putting any in the other areas, not our city, but New Berlin or anything?
No,
Okay.
no. This is so that there's a connection between the Oak Leaf Trail and what's our trail called? The Falcon Ridge Trail connects to Highway 1. It'll connect to Highway 100, so you'll be able to get to those stores on Highway 100 all the way to the YMCA.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to sign the agreement.
I'll
Approve it.
second.
Yeah, signing it.
Okay, motion by Ace, is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Second, Mr. Graber. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Aye. Sorry. Little delayed.
Great. Item number 6, discussion decision to approve a contract for a surface water grant administered by the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources to fund stormwater management improvements for Honey Creek.
Okay, so this is another grant that we're receiving from the DNR for that project on Honey Creek in Conkle Park. Greenfield has received a grant in the amount of $25,000 to fund stormwater management improvements for Honey Creek. The project, like we discussed last time, will reduce flooding, improve water quality, improve wildlife habitat, and enhance the recreation in the park along Honey Creek. And the project focus is between 47th Street and Layton. And as you know, we concurrently applying for, we've received grants, and we're receiving this, also receiving this grant, and we're applying for others to help pay for that.
I'll make a motion to, what are we saying, approve the contract for the grant?
And I will second, and I just wanted to add that I'm really impressed how well you're doing receiving grants to get a lot of this work done. So great job.
Okay, motion by Akers, second by Collins. Further discussion now. This is going to be
sorry.
just, this is part of the, for this money, they're going to be like doing more work with the actual Honey Creek to the,
Yeah.
to the south of 47th and Layton.
North. So between 47th in the park on the Honey Creek, between 47th Street and Layton.
Right by Edgewood and that.
You know, from like Edgewood School west through the park.
Yeah, is it that
Up to
strip that's
Layton.
kind of behind the school, between the school and the park, or is it?
Yeah, it's kind of behind the school,
So it's a little,
and then it goes west through the park and up to Layton.
probably closer to 48th Street
So
than
it's for the
47th
whole
Street.
project. This
There's still going to be a path from the school to the
park, yeah.
park?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, we had a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Item number 7, discussion decision to approve the request to construct a private retaining wall and landscaping stone outcropping in a permanent city storm and drainage easement in the rear yard of Timothy Pearson and Dawn Desereau, 6075 South 34th Street.
Okay, so we received the request for that retaining wall and landscape outcropping, and it's in an easement that the city has for drainage. So what we do is we allow that sort of thing. We allow residents to do things like that, but we just make sure that we get a permit from them, a recorded easement, or a recorded agreement, so that if we ever have to go in there and, for any reason, and dig that up, they understand that their landscaping could get dug up. It's possible.
Removed.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, do I have a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Collins, seconded by Mr. Graber. Any further discussion or questions? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion's carried. Number 8, discussion and decision to adopt an ordinance amending section 8.04 of the Greenfield Municipal Code regarding parking on 116th Street. Mr. Cat.
Okay, so we were contacted by the Whitnall School District. As you know, all the schools have large problems at drop-off and pickup.
No.
No. With so many parents nowadays pick their kids up, so there's long lines. So they were having a really bad problem on 116th Street by the Whitnall High School and the Whitnall Middle School. So we worked with the school district to come up with changing the restrictions, and what they would like us to do is during school days, 7 to 4, on both sides of the street by the schools, they want no parking, stopping, or standing. So that means that, because even if it said no parking, people would pull up and say, well, I'm just waiting for my kid. But that would still, yeah. So we had to change it to no parking, stopping, or standing, so you can't do anything. You
It
can't
adds
stop.
clarification.
Yeah.
There you go. Exactly.
Takes
Yeah.
out loopholes.
Now you can't get away.
Yeah, so there's no, yeah. So the city will be putting those signs up. And then there's 4 other parking ordinances for that area that we're repealing because as you can tell that they've had this problem for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, and the street's not that large. If you have them parking on both sides, then just
Yeah,
one
there's
car
just
has
no
to drive
room.
through the middle.
You get very clogged
Buses
up.
Yeah.
and all that stuff there, yeah, that's not fun.
No,
Yeah, no
it's gonna
room.
be horrible.
So I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance amending section 8.04 of the Greenfield Municipal Code and repealing the ones listed.
Great. Motion by Akers, seconded.
I'll second.
Mr. Graber. Any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion's carried. Carl, we getting the complaints then, because the people line up there.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're gonna have to line up farther down or
But-
something, right?
Yeah, they're gonna have to come up with some better way to, the school has,
Parking
the
lots.
school has a plan for what parents are supposed to do. I think people don't always follow it, though.
I'd imagine that, yeah, you just drive into the parking lot, but I imagine that could create a long line,
Yeah.
which is why maybe some people may find it inconvenient, but
The high school has a lot of parking.
Yeah.
A lot. I don't know about the middle school.
Well, you just have to the flow, like at Edgewood, we all park on Layton, but we give room for the buses to turn down 47th Street until we get all the buses in, we can't go.
I've been in the line for Edgewood, because my grandson goes there. Have to pick him up once in a while. And it's well-run, but it's still.
It takes a little bit,
A little hectic. It's hectic.
especially when the people are playing with their phones and not paying attention, the line's moving.
Yeah. Bingo.
Okay, item number 9, discussion decision to adopt an ordinance amending section 804 of the Greenfield Municipal Code regarding parking on West Loomis Road.
Okay, there's a problem, and we got a photograph in the packet. There's a problem with parking by the Starbucks on Loomis.
Not parking, isn't it more like stopping?
Yeah, well, a semi pulls up and unloads
Oh, okay.
and blocks the right turn lane onto the freeway.
Oh,
That's
is that
on
for
the pic-
Starbucks it's pulling up there?
That's the Starbucks
interesting.
semi, yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't go on the old 43rd?
Yeah, they don't. And then there's also now a problem. People don't use the Layton side anymore because it's less convenient. So now they're all pulling
And
into the
piling.
parking lot on Loomis, and they're stopping on Loomis.
Yes, I've seen that one.
So
Because it gets backed up, you mean?
yeah.
The line just keeps, yeah.
So now we can enforce people doing that.
Is this,
But what's that, how's that truck going to?
He's gonna have to figure it out.
They're going to have to unload on the old 43rd Street.
Yeah.
maybe they
I
won't
mean,
get their
that's-
coffee.
They gotta figure it out. We can't have them stopping there.
No.
No, it's really,
Cause accidents.
really
Oh,
dangerous.
yeah.
It's very
Big time.
dangerous what they're
It's-
doing there.
It's
super
bad
dangerous.
enough with the cars piling up there, but yeah, to have a car stop there, no, that intersection, especially with 60th Street on-ramps closed right now, there is
Yeah.
excessive traffic going on going on Loomis here to get onto the freeway.
Yeah.
So
Well, and if you make a right or left turn off of Layton, you're all of a sudden struck by that vehicle, seeing that truck there. You don't expect it.
Yeah, it blocks your view. Yeah.
It's legally, right now, it's legally to park where that truck is parked. That's legally, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yep. So no parking, stopping, or standing anytime.
Okay.
So no parking for the truck and no stopping or standing for the people that are in their car waiting in line for coffee.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we adopt the ordinance
I'll
amending.
second.
Pardon?
go ahead.
Oh,
I was-
amending section 8.04 of the Greenfield Municipal Code regarding parking on West Loomis Road.
And I'll second that. And under discussion, can I have a question?
Sure.
Are we, since this is a county road, does this have to go to the county then, or are we allowed to?
That's a state road.
Okay.
Loomis is a state highway 36, and I've had discussions with the state, and they've agreed to allow they're allowing us to put the no parking, stopping, or standing there.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because
Yeah.
I know for Layton, we have to get county permission to put up signs.
Yeah, and
don't we?
here, state permission we have to
Yeah.
get, yep.
Okay,
Okay, motion was made by Connell, seconded by Akers, regarding to adopt an ordinance regarding parking on West Loomis Road. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Who generated that?
Yeah.
Why did that come to us? Because somebody saw it, a constituent? or
The
something?
mayor pointed it out.
I've been pointing it out to the mayor
Yeah,
and Christie and,
People were
So
parking there besides that truck?
I didn't point out the truck, I pointed out all the cars.
the mayor got the picture of the truck, and
Okay.
so we got evidence that they're doing it.
Dang good evidence.
When are the signs going up, John? Excuse me? When are the signs going up?
In April.
Council has to prove it.
I'll go out there and help you.
Okay, item number 10, update regarding sanitary sewer cleaning, televising, and maintenance.
So this item is for information only. We thought we would just give you a really brief summary of some of the work we've been doing lately up in engineering and public works. So the city has both sanitary and storm sewers. Sanitary sewers are your drain, your toilet, your bathtub, and storm sewers are the water in the street, and sometimes your gutters and things like that. So the city maintains 789,601 linear feet of sanitary sewer, which is over 149 miles. So we have more sewer lines than we do streets
Wow.
in
That's
length.
something.
And we have 3,661 sanitary manholes that we maintain. And that whole system, that 149 miles of pipe and those 3,661 manholes are aging and need maintenance or replacement periodically. And if you think about it, would you rather have a power failure for 48 hours or have your sanitary sewer not work?
Power failure.
I can go without power, but
Yeah.
if your sewer backs, if your sewer backs up, that's the other.
They've done that.
So
Can I ask why you televise? Is it for teaching or is it?
Looking at the condition, right?
yes.
Oh, so like you scope it?
Yeah.
You go in there to see? how
Yeah,
it is?
so the
Okay.
city does two things. The DPW does two maintenance items,
Okay.
and both engineering and DPW work together on coming up with this plan of what areas to do when.
Okay.
And then DPW has quite an investment in personnel and equipment and training, and they spend quite a bit in labor doing cleaning and televising. So what they do is they have to clean the sewers on a regular basis, and some areas more often than others. And then they have to televise the sewers because we have to look inside and make sure or find out where things are failing or where things are plugging up.
Yeah.
So that's what the televising is for. It's to
Makes
look at the
sense.
condition and to find out where we have problems. Because if we discover problems, we fix them. So if you look at this map that's on the screen, the city's divided up into these 8 areas. This is a relatively new plan, although we've always had something similar. So the idea here is that each year we'll do one of the areas. So it'll take 1 year to televise area 1, 1 year to televise area 2, 3, 4, and so on. And then as far as cleaning, we're going to clean 2 areas a year. So in 2022, we're going to clean areas 1 and 5, 23, 2 and 6, 24, 3 and 7. So that's how we're going to do the cleaning. We can clean more than we can televise.
Okay.
And then in 2025 and 29, we actually have to contract out some of our televising because there are areas of our sewer system that we can't get our equipment to, so we can't monitor it. And because we can't, and it's, for example, there's an area in the western part of the city where the sewers run through places with no streets. So they have to have special equipment to get out to those pipes. So we hire a contractor who has that specialized equipment. And there's some other things, very large diameter. It wasn't any of it because of large diameter. And some large diameter pipes our cameras don't work in. So, but we have very modern equipment. We just got a new camera this last year.
And that camera can show breaks or
Yeah.
blockages or?
If you want to watch sewer videos, we can watch lots of them.
I was just thinking that's not something I really think I want to view.
I think
Is it like a super like long stick, or is there like a robotic element to it?
More of a robotic.
Okay.
Yeah. John, maybe John can tell how it works.
kind of like a colonoscopy, right?
Yeah, but it's got wheels. Motorized.
So it's a motorized camera with a cable about 1,100 feet long. So there's different sets of wheels you can put on, and
Okay.
they're different size and in materials they're built out of. So you can traverse down the pipe pretty far. It also has an inclinator where it can tell you the pitch of the pipe, so it's flowing correctly or not. There's a rating program that we follow through NASCO. So the terminology that the guys use in the truck when they either narrate or they flag something, the guys up in engineering can understand that. Actually, Jeff Tamblin and Brian Haas do look at a lot of the video, so we can flag areas that need help and stuff like that. That was a pretty big investment the city made last year for us. Our other camera was from 2007, so this is a really nice system. Bright lights and things like that. The camera head also tilts up so you can look up and around the manholes and do an inspection from inside the pipe. So, yeah. The cleaning is done with a similar method in that there's a length of hose, a hose reel that holds 600 feet of hose on it, 1-inch diameter, and you use high pressure water and different nozzles or heads on that hose to clean the pipes, both when you go out in the pipe and then when you drag the material back. So that's a little.
I wouldn't want to be cleaning that equipment.
No, I was just going to say if I start my diet, and I might come up and watch some of the videos with you guys.
So I'd imagine, you mentioned that we can only film one at a time. You have the new camera, the old one from 2007. You're just replacing that one. You're not keeping the older one. Are
That's
you?
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Great.
Do you find blockages often?
Not too often. I mean, we have an area of hot spots that we hit every quarter of the year. Sometimes possibly around restaurants and things like that, or maybe just some areas that are developed pretty early. And we do those every quarter, but complete blockages, not too often. Now, we do respond to a lot of residents' calls that say, my sewer's backed up, can you come out? So we go out and respond, and we'll check the line upstream and downstream of the property, and we'll visually check that, and as long as the water is flowing properly in the trough, we know our system's running fine, and then we'll report back to the resident.
The problem is-
that problem may be in their private lateral that leads to our main line.
Yeah, see, we maintain our lines on this regular basis, but homeowners don't. So the problem usually is in the homeowner's pipe.
You don't have a camera to do that, right?
Right, and a spray
And roots
nozzle.
go
gonna
in
think
there
of
and all
that.
kinds of stuff, yeah.
I recently had a problem and I had a guy come out and dig up my lateral, and it partially had collapsed, from a tree root, and and my stuff wasn't draining. And, yeah, that was like $4,000 later to dig that all up and put in a new lateral.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we do occasionally find failures or things that are failing, things that need to be repaired. Last year we did the where we hired a contractor to get at those pipes we hadn't been in a long time, and we discovered some shocking failures that we have to repair this year. So that's why we have the sanitary sewer fund. So just like we have the storm sewer utility where people pay a certain amount of money per year, we have the sanitary sewer fund that gets paid through your sewer bill. That gets paid for through your sewer bill. But that's how we generate money to do these repairs. And now as our system ages, we're going to be having to do more and more. So we have a few sample ones. If you look on the screen here, we have a few sample things that we've discovered as of late, some things that we see all the time. So this first one is where the pipe is offset.
Okay.
So two pieces of pipe where they connect have shifted. So that's can be a problem. And if earth from around the pipe should get into the pipe, it could plug the pipe, or it causes other problems. And then the next one is a crack in the pipe. So you can see how this is a concrete pipe, and you can see how it's cracked. So that's a failure that if that continues to crack, you could have that pipe collapse, and then that would block the sewer line for 10 or 50 or 100 or 200 homes. So that has to get repaired because you could get basement backups. Here's two pieces of pipe where they're joined together. And you can see that there's a water seeping in. It's flowing in like a fountain. So that's groundwater coming in. So that's when we talk about PPII or private property infiltration, inflow and infiltration. Well, this is infiltration into our city sewer line. So it's clean water that goes to MMSD to get treated. So they're treating rainwater basically when this happens. So here's a root blocking the pipe. So that root is blocking that pipe enough that it could back up that pipe and back up into people's basements. That has to be cut out. Here is an interesting one we discovered this year. This is on 92nd Street, and this location right here is by the nursing home where the convent is, or the nun.
yeah.
There's some
Clement
nuns
Manor,
there.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At Howard?
Yeah. So what they discovered is inside the pipe is some sort of a buildup that's blocking 50% of the pipe. And it's a hard, like cementous deposit. So we hired a specialty contractor to try to clean that. And they basically had to give up because they couldn't get through it. You can see their machine, was trying to clean it in a rotary fashion. So 50% of that pipe is blocked. So we're going to have to go and dig that up this summer and find out how much of it is like this and replace it. But that's potentially a sewer backup issue on 92nd Street.
What caused that?
They don't know.
We don't know. We don't have a clue.
We don't know.
Because we don't know what it is, and because you can camera it and see it, but we don't have a way to get a sample of it.
Okay.
Nobody's going to climb in there, huh?
Looks like cement.
Yeah,
me.
Looks like it's part of the pipe almost, and
Yeah.
it grew or
Like
something.
sediment of, cement, like they.
But it's so perfectly flat on top. It almost looks like,
Layers.
I have my theories, but I wonder if a cement truck maybe cleaned out or. But you see, usually they wouldn't get into the sanitary unless they dumped it in a manhole. Well, anyway, we'll find out when we dig it up, so. Many thousands of dollars later. So this one we discovered this year too. So this is on Cold Spring Road near the Oak Leaf Trail at about 105th Street. When was that bridge built? In 1993, a bridge was built on the Root River on Cold Spring Road. And we didn't know until this last summer that they drove a steel H-beam pile through our sanitary sewer. So that's a huge beam that holds the bridge up.
Oh,
So who's going to have to pay for that one?
yeah.
So we're going to end up paying for it. We can try to make a claim to the DOT from 1993. We'll see how Brian, the attorney, can
Work that one out.
work that one, but good luck. So that's a 30-inch pipe, 30-inch diameter pipe, about half blocked. That not only serves Greenfield, but it takes flow from New Berlin. So there was potential to back up the sewage lines west of Kowicki Park.
So New Berlin,
East?
Goes east, and then it hits the MMSD has some mainline pipes right
New
near
Berlin
there.
share
Right near
cost
there.
this one?
What's that?
Can we get New Berlin to share cost?
This is, well, technically it's our pipe, so.
But we're taking their stuff.
Yeah, I know. So this is,
They want us to keep
it's a pretty
taking it.
serious one. I think that's the last one we had. Oh, no. Here is, and other, we have other things like that, well, I'll talk about that after, but, so here's another more typical thing. So I showed you a couple of horror stories, but this kind of stuff is all over the place. Pipes that are starting to fail, and this one's pretty bad right here. So if this fails, again, 50, 100, 500 homes could get sewers basement backup. So we need to get on these. So we're going to be starting a pretty aggressive program to do sanitary sewer repairs at all these bad locations.
Generally, how old is Greenfield sewer system and the pipes and stuff like that?
I would say it could have been built anytime between the 50s and today.
And I think in the far northeastern part of the city, around Morgan Avenue and Mitchell Highlands, there's some sanitary sewer that was constructed in the 1920s and 1930s.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
But then
probably the
we
age of the houses, right?
correct, yeah.
So mine's in the 50s is Shirley Crest.
Minus 6.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, we have newer sanitary sewer on the west side of the city that was constructed in the 90s or early 2000s. So we have a wide range of ages throughout the city.
Which is
And material
this.
matters too. Like the newer stuff is plastic pipe, which is a little better or more durable. But like the pipe on the picture here, this is clay pipe. So think like flower pot. You know how brittle a flower pot
Yeah.
is? It's like a little bit stronger than a flower pot, but it's the same type of material, vitrified
hope so,
clay.
yeah.
It's vitrified clay, so it's baked and
When were they using clay pots? I mean, clay material for the pipes. Is that the 20s or the 50s or? Yeah.
Up till the 50s.
Yeah, 50s or 60s.
Okay.
Those segments of the clay tile too, some of them are only 30 inches long too, so those segments can both go up and down or side to side. They're not like a 10-foot section of plastic PVC piping, so there's more apt to go out of line at times too, besides.
Is there a plan to just repair what we have? Or like in these ones that are built in the 20s or whatever, are we going to ever dig them up and, replace them?
Someday we'll have to replace pipes wholesale, but the Greenfield system right now is at a stage where it's more of a spot repair.
Maintenance right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
spot repair bad areas.
So after we're gone, it'll be
Yeah.
repair it all, right?
Someday somebody will have to dig dig up the Mitchell Highlands and replace sewer pipe. I mean, I'm sure that's what they're doing in parts of Milwaukee. And we don't have a picture on here, but another problem we have is in both sanitary and storm is with all the companies that are putting in underground or putting in boring cable in the ground.
I didn't think so, we can't.
You can't close the door.
No.
That's fine. All the people that are putting that are boring like fiber optic cables and gas lines, they are boring through our pipes. So we will have issues where we'll run our camera down the pipe and we'll see a gas line stuck through it. We had that
Really?
2 years ago on Layton Avenue.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as we camera the sewers, we find more discoveries with all the underground utilities that are being practiced these days, so.
Do they, when we find like, say, a gas line on Layton Avenue, are the utilities then going to have to pay for these repairs?
Yes, they're notified. We have billable material sheets filled out.
Okay.
Yeah, because they always pull a permit to work in the right of way. So it's fairly simple to go back and find that process.
Okay.
But
It's still an effort. I mean,
Yeah.
it's administrative costs. We're spending
Hours.
man hours chasing
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
chasing these guys that are.
is there anything we can do to make it less
Not unless we sit there and hang around
less attractive for
watching what
them
they
to,
do.
not do their due diligence and find out where these things are?
Make it more expensive? I don't know. So how it works, the reality is a company like the gas company,
Hire somebody.
they
right?
hire a contractor and they get the guy, whoever is cheapest.
Right.
And they'll come up from down south. They'll work long hours and then they're gone. So we Energies then would still be responsible, but so it's not like they care.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's our little just like a little update. No action needed or anything on that.
Thank you.
All right, that was informative. All right,
Appreciate
thanks.
it.
Let's go to number 11, Superintendent of Public Works Report, Mr. Leskowski.
okay, thank you.
My knee.
I'm going to bounce around a little bit here. Recently, we had training for 7 of our staff for snow and ice control. We do that annually with our staff. That's part of our reporting with the DNR as well, that we're training our staff so they know correct salt rate applications and things like that. Recently wrapped up our structural pruning on some of the city trees. We did 27th Street, Howard to College. Did some of the newer planted trees in the last 3 years. Guys did a
Layton
really nice
Avenue?
job. Excuse me?
You did Layton Avenue.
We
too.
did Layton Avenue. Yes, we did. Thank you for noticing. And then with that, we began our median maintenance, which includes cutting down the grasses, doing structural pruning on those, raking up the debris, and also included the city buildings around there, community center, city hall, PD, DPW, Fire 1, Fire 2. We're still working on all that, those last 2 items, and then Conkle Park and Kowicki Park. We hope to start some planting on some of the center medians over there by Sendix and along 76th Street in front of Rogan Shoes and things like that. We took out a lot of trees, but we want to put some color in there this spring. So, streetlight maintenance continues. We have upwards of over 1,700 streetlights to maintain. The guys have done some good work on that. As I mentioned in previous meetings, we have some newer staff on that, and they're really embracing it and doing a heck of a job. Recently, we installed or we replaced the wayfinding signs that were on Layton Avenue prior to the project starting, so we reinstalled those same signs. That went really well, and we also put up the business district sign on South 27th Street. They have those more decorative frames for those. The Edgerton Avenue sign was struck earlier this winter. As part of my sanitary sewer cleaning and televising schedule goes, we're about a third of the way done with cleaning the area number 1 that was referenced earlier on those slides. and televising is right behind them. So for the first go of it for the schedule for this year, I think we're doing really well. Had a really nice compliment from a resident in regards to that televising. Mrs. Nitka over in Shirley's district, I believe, just came out and met the guys, and the guys did a really nice job of explaining to her what was going on, and kudos to those guys for doing that. So transitioning our equipment from snow and ice to summer season, getting our lawn equipment ready. We also support Park and Rec in the school district in that transition period too. So they have their equipment, we have ours, and so.
You're not gonna like, by doing that, get us a big snowstorm now because you're,
We,
like when you put the winter clothes away, I'm a little nervous.
to date, we've taken off one salt hopper, and that's just.
Friday, we've had that happen.
We keep it within range.
All
yeah.
right,
Just in case.
I don't need a.
Yeah.
you know,
April 15th is our date, but I do predict 2 more snowfalls that we'll be plowing, so that's the norm. Yeah, so,
I just, yeah,
so thank you.
Don't curse us with that, please.
Saying. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 12, engineering report, Mr. Hott.
Yeah, good evening. Tonight I want to give you an update on our expected start dates for our projects this year. Before going into these dates, just know that these are all weather dependent and they're our best estimate from our contractor at this point. It's not rare to have these change, but this is what we know at this time. The Power Line Trail will start April 4th on Cold Spring Road. The 84th Street concrete panel replacement between Cold Spring Road and Howard Avenue will begin in mid-April. The 43rd Street sidewalk project south of Cold Spring Road will be this spring, most likely in May. The Mitchell Highlands Phase 1 resurfacing will begin at the end of May. Our asphalt street resurfacing project, which is 3 areas on the west side of the city, may begin in July. Our traffic signal replacement at 47th and Layton, as well as 60th and Edgerton, will be beginning in mid-June when school is out, and they must be completed before school begins for the fall. A carryover project from last year, the St. Francis neighborhood reconstruction, has the final lift of asphalt still to be placed, and that's expected to be completed in June. The county's Bloyd Road resurfacing project, like our item earlier this year, will be sometime this spring, most likely in May. And as a reminder for that project, Bloyd Road will be closed from 124th Street to Highway 100 for the duration of their project. Moving on to DOT projects in the area. On Cold Spring Road, the noise wall has to be installed still on the bridge over Cold Spring Road. So they expect that to begin at the end of May and may take up to 60 days with a full closure of Cold Spring Road during that time. The DOT recently started a resurfacing project on the Rock Freeway, Interstate 43. That's expected to begin end of this week potentially. And they will have a long-term closure of the off-ramp to Layton Avenue beginning April 11th through the end of July. And then lastly, the 60th Street Bridge progress is currently on schedule. So that I believe that's a summary of most of our projects at this time.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Sure.
I knew we were doing 60th and Edgerton, and it was coned off for a while. What was that for? I thought it was starting the lights or something, but you just said they're starting in June. So.
Yeah. We Energy's electric raised some poles in that location to put the wires above our new traffic signals.
Okay.
And then also We Energy's gas relocated some of their gas main at one of the corners in advance of our project.
And my other question, is that something similar than they've been doing over on 47th and Layton? Because they've had that
Good.
up for a long, long time.
Yes, correct. We Energy's gassed gas is relocating their gas main at that intersection.
And we're checking our sanitary sewer there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, I was just curious if those were
Yeah,
tied in.
so I guess, to your point, yes, work has started at those locations, but it's utilities kind of doing some of their advanced work. The full construction will be this summer.
Okay, yeah, I knew we were gonna do 47th at least after school, because that would be a nightmare in midst of school.
I believe there may be some summer school at that school.
There is summer school, and I have a kid going there.
yeah,
Or
so
not
but
summer
how-
school, but they're doing the recreation
Sure.
program there.
So yeah, access will be maintained to 47th Street.
I can always come in from the park side.
Yeah.
That's not a biggie. Okay.
It seems they're really moving along on 60th Street. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
they're really,
Yeah.
you know, moving along. So it looks like that might actually be finished in November.
Yeah, but so they're doing the bridge right now, and then the intersections on both sides of the bridge will also be reconstructed with new traffic signals as well. So the bridge is just the first step. But once you see that bridge, there's still quite a bit of surrounding work to do.
They gonna keep the exit and on-ramps basically the same configuration?
Yeah, yep,
Okay.
same location, yeah.
Okay. I have to say, it hasn't, with their closures, doing the on and off thing, it's been not so bad on Layton Avenue,
Knock on wood, real
you know?
quick.
Well, Loomis is not gonna, that one's
know.
gonna be thrown.
Our phones will be busy,
Loomis will be horrible, but, okay.
yeah.
Okay, well, thank you, Ryan. Item number 13, any future topics for future agendas? Nothing at this time. Okay, item 14, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion by Collins, second by Mr. Graber. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. We're adjourned at 7:20 PM.
Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot more than people realize. You know, all the